The US Embassy in Bahrain has a lineup of wonderful projects and programs to help facilitate and enhance the skills of young Bahrainis. Well, in my opinion, the highlight of these projects are the student exchange programs, especially cultural and educational. Several Bahrainis have benefited from these programs in the past, and they continue to do that. Today, on this episode of the Story Loom from the 973 show, we have 5 brilliant Bahrainis who just got back from one such exchange program. Let's talk to them, get to know more about these programs and their experience in another country. Welcome to the Story Loom.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's such a beautiful topic, isn't it? To speak about your experience in a different country. All of you Bahrainis, you've been to the US thanks to the US Embassy initiative. I understand it is a student leadership program.
Yes.
Right. So this evening, tell us more about your experience. What kind of leadership definition did you gather from this trip? What did you actually do? So to begin with, introduce yourself to us, please. Shall we begin with Abir?
Hello, thank you for having us here today. So I'm Abir Amir and I'm from Bahrain. I work now full-time as a social media representative and I attended Montana State University.
Thank you, Abir. And we move to Latifa.
My name is Latifa Saeed. I am from Harag and I work in aviation.
Okay.
I work in GAA. So my job is just surrounded by pilots and cabin crews.
Interesting.
And in the US, I attended Portland State.
Okay, great. Thank you, Latifa.
Hello, my name is Zahra Ahmed. I'm from Bahrain. I graduated with a bachelor degree in marketing and I'm currently working in marketing. And I also attended Montana State University.
All right.
Hello, my name is Tariq Rajan. I'm a medical student and I attended the University of Delaware.
Great.
Hi, I'm Sarah Kwaid. I'm a full-time career counselor. I have a degree in business administration and I have attended Georgetown University.
Great. And I think we are missing Mohammed, right?
Yes.
Mohammed, yeah. So it's interesting. It's a diverse professions and backgrounds, right? We have aviation, we have social media, we have an aspiring doctor, a career counselor, and a marketing person. Interesting. So my first question to all of you would be, I don't know, you can differ with me. I think leadership is a perspective. My definition of leadership might be different from your leadership. And you guys attended the student leadership program. So it must have given you some new insights into leadership. Do you want to talk about it to begin with? Who would like to go?
So for me, it's more about giving others, about how to make every experience a learning experience for you and for others as well. How to make everything or how to look at everything in a positive manner rather than negative manner.
Right, and I think it's closely associated to a career as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I think one of my favorite things that I've learned throughout the experience was how different leadership is towards everyone. It was one of the discussions we've had as some are stronger, stricter leaders, some are more lenient and humble. And that was one of the most, I'd say, interesting things that I've learned. And identifying my own leadership style.
That's the best part of it, yeah. We saw
definitely.
different styles, but then you identified yourself. Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, definitely.
Latifa, would you like to go next?
So during the course where we were in our universities, for example, in Portland, I don't know about the others, but in Portland State, we had classes and courses specifically on leadership. Mm-hmm. So let's say I thought, for example, I was being a good leader by doing this and that, but by learning about it in depth and meeting other people and realizing how everyone is, you realize, oh, maybe I should improve in this, maybe I should lower or become less of this. Mm-hmm. And you realize, you see yourself more of how you are through other people's eyes, which was very interesting. I think something you wouldn't have been able to do by yourself.
Yeah, that's a great observation because that's what these exchange programs do to us, isn't it? You get to see a group and then I'm glad that you've got the right nerve of all this. Zahra, would you like to go next?
In the beginning, before going through the program, I thought leaders is people who lead. You're the front, you lead everyone. But after the program, I understand that a leader can sit down, observe people, and like help, being helpful, I think, and positive, and yeah.
Not just being out there and
Yes,
expecting the
definitely.
rest of them to follow.
Yes,
right?
definitely. I think
Yeah, leading by example.
Yes.
And leading by understanding.
Yeah.
Great. Tariq, let's hear the man's view.
Well, the man's
We
view.
we must take Mohammed for a task for leaving you behind alone, right? Yeah.
But you know, if I'm being very honest, it's amazing to just observe how many leaders we have at this table, including yourself, Raji.
Thank you.
You know, who are women who exhibit leadership on a daily basis. You know, I think we're starting to learn that leadership it's more of a characteristic than anything that everyone can develop on. To me, at least, leadership is all about cohesion. It's important that a leader is supposed to bring people together. And whether it's being in the spotlight, but more often than not, leaders tend to be in the background. I do believe that leadership comes from the essence of wanting to do better and wanting to extract, you know, whatever everyone has to offer. All of us individuals have amazing things to put onto
Yeah.
the table.
Yes.
And, you know, an effective leader can do that. And of course, women are the best at doing that. We know that for a fact.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes, thank you so much.
Of course, of course.
Tariq, let me continue with you on that. See, I love the way all of you have taken the best and catered to yourself about the leadership training. You are an aspiring doctor, right?
Yeah.
How do you think leadership should be in your profession? What is your definition of leadership as a doctor? I mean, in the future, of course, you're a budding doctor, you would be a junior doctor, isn't it?
Yes.
And then you get to lead a team. In your profession, what is leadership all about?
Ever since we've started medical school, it's been drilled into us that leaders don't command, leaders don't demand.
Yeah.
Leaders bring people together. And you know, if I reflect back on my profession and the kind of leader that I want to be, it would be that I would try to bring all medical personnel together. The team is not just the doctor. The team is the nurse, the dietitian, the psychologist, the physiotherapist, the social worker, even the administrator. And, you know, when I think about myself being as a leader, I think about, you know, how I will try to bring people together, how I will try to involve everyone in the management of, you know, a person. A patient is a person. A patient is not a number. And it's important that we as medical professionals, whatever our background is, that we highlight how important it is to bring together the team, to work together. The common saying is there's no I in team, right?
Yep.
So
You're right.
it's important that we understand the values of leadership and we understand how important it is to do better for the community around us.
That's right. And I think this applies to every profession, isn't it?
That's
In
true.
one way or the other. I just picked your profession, but then it applies to every other profession. And as a team, when we always talk of a team, it's mandatory to have a leader, but then the right leader makes a difference. Am I right?
That's very true.
Yeah. Let's move further. Tell us about your experience. I think, can you take us through the program schedule as such, the student leadership program? How does it work? Like, how long are you, were you in the country, and what are the other formalities, and how long is it, and what do you get at the end of the day as in terms of a certification? Can one of us explain to us?
Okay, so the program has 3 phases: pre-summer, during summer, and post-summer.
Okay.
The pre-summer is basically applying to the program, completing the paperwork and everything, doing the interview. So it is the easier phase of the program. And then the second is during summer, where we go to the United States.
Okay.
And then attend the classes about leadership, collective problem solving, civic engagement. We've done volunteering activities as well. We've done site visits. So, for example, Delaware University went to the United Nations. Yes. And also, the most important or the most exciting part about being in the United States is implementing or creating a civic engagement plan. So you choose a problem or an issue that your country is facing, and then create a plan, a civic engagement plan to solve or to address this problem. And then when you come back to Bahrain, you implement this plan that you have created at the United States.
So each of you get to choose a different project like that?
Yes.
Yes.
It would be interesting to hear, like, what were your projects? What did you choose?
So my project called Green Shepreneurs.
Green Shepreneurs.
Yes.
Can you explain that second word?
Sure. So instead of saying entrepreneurs, as I'm targeting women only, women entrepreneurs in Bahrain, so I removed entry and I put she.
Okay.
So it's like creative name.
Very creative.
Yes.
Very
so
creative.
I targeted the waste crisis that we're facing in Bahrain. And as a business student, I wanted to target businesses as well. So I also targeted women. So women entrepreneurs who own businesses who are unfortunately not using recyclable materials.
Okay.
So by providing them consultations, services, workshops that will change their mindset in order to change their materials to recyclable materials. Therefore, we will address or we will solve or contribute in solving the waste crisis that we are facing in Bahrain.
What a beautiful thought, especially the time that we're talking of sustainable future, which is the dire need. Very good. I'm really impressed. What about you? What was your project, Tariq?
My project revolved around sexual health.
Okay.
Personally speaking, I believe that there is a lack of sexual health education within our community. And I do believe that as budding healthcare professionals, we do have a responsibility to protect our patients. A lot of serious illnesses come from sexual health issues.
Awareness,
and lack of awareness. And considering that we do live in a society where talking about sexual health is taboo.
The stigma still prevails.
It is very stigmatized, yes. It's important that we understand the fundamentals of sexual health and how to create a safe and comfortable environment for people to discuss this. My objective is to bring in medical and nursing student societies to come in for workshops and receive lectures and seminars by professionals who have seen the field and who have treated patients when it comes to sexual health, how to address sexual health concerns, and how to further educate on safer sex practices. This is something that I am going to be starting very soon, but considering that it is just the beginning of September and the school year still hasn't started yet, I will be implementing my proposal and I will be discussing with different family physicians and experts in the field, as well as clubs and societies within the university to make everything happen.
Great. What a responsible project. I would want to call it that.
I appreciate that.
Very
Thank
good.
you very much.
What about you, Zahra?
Welcome to Sri Sokya Ayurvedic Center, where ancient healing meets modern wellness. Located in the heart of Mahuz, our center offers a wide range of authentic Ayurvedic treatments. Our team of experts is dedicated to providing you with the highest quality care using only the best natural and organic products.
So my project is about older and retired citizens and how to engage them back to the society, like to offer them events and workshops, how to entertain their time by doing something fun or useful. And yes, this is my project.
Again, it's very beautiful. The way you have chosen the projects. I'm really impressed, and I'm eager to hear the next two projects. Latifa.
There's a category, the population which is under 18, where okay, they have their clubs, their sports clubs, their arts clubs, and everything, but I haven't seen a place where they can specifically volunteer. Because most volunteer places are 18 plus, even though those youth have the most energy and the most drive, and they can do a lot, but they're very like overlooked a lot. So my my civic engagement plan, is to include them more by educating them. But we're not going to say we're going to educate you, because getting into the mind of kids, they don't want lessons, they don't want.
True, very
So
true.
it's a fully practical way of making them aware of what's happening around them. For example, if there's some poverty, the fact that we have a very high pollution, we can do this instead of that. And instead of them growing up and then realizing, for example, the climate is bad, and then trying to change step by step, although they have that habit of using too much plastic, from
Catching them young.
catching them young. Exactly, they're in a very spongy phase where
Very.
they absorb everything. So make it a lifestyle instead of something you learn far in the
Later,
future,
yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like a
yeah.
hard habit to cut.
Beautiful, beautiful. Abir.
What I've seen is that as younger kids, maybe we don't get the exposure towards the different industries and majors that are very widely common outside of Bahrain. But in Bahrain, we're restricted to some things. You can say business or engineering are most known. So what I look at is providing opportunities for youth before graduating to teach them about so many different industries, to get them in extracurriculars that will get them the idea and the information that they need to explore these industries, and later on find better opportunities in other positions that are maybe uncommon, or most Bahrainis don't have the experience to be employed in Bahrain. So yeah.
I'm really impressed the way you've done the research and chosen your projects, right from the health education aspect to women and green and elderly and young adults and unemployment. I'm really impressed the way you put in the effort, and I'm sure you must have really benefited from this program. Now, tell us about the milieu. How was US? How was the university? How was the culture? Of course, I belong to this part of the world, but our cultures are different, isn't it? How is it? Was there anything that you can call it as a culture shock?
I think each person has a different experience. Because for me, I was in Montana, so it was greenery, mountains, like just greenery all around. So it wasn't the America you watch in movies. It was very calm, peaceful, and we learned a lot about like interesting stuff and farming and stuff like that.
Okay, was it something like a countryside?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And what about Denver?
Let me just preface this by saying Delaware has my heart.
Delaware has my heart. That's poetry. Pristine poetry.
And it really felt like poetry. It felt like a stanza. Everything about it was so beautiful. From the people that were organizing our trip and organizing our schedule to the other student leaders that were with us.
Sorry to cut you. Where were you living? Did you live with a family?
No, we were living on university campus in one of the dorm buildings. And if I'm being very honest with you, I think it was one of the most organized experiences that I've had. All of our needs were taken care of. All of our issues were never disregarded. And it was nothing less than exceptional, really. In terms of culture shock, I don't think it was
No, I was just using a phrase.
Yeah.
I know. Gone are those days.
But, you know, it was amazing to see how well embraced we were by the American people and how curious everyone was about our cultures. Considering that this program spanned the entire MENA region, all of us come from different backgrounds, but we also have lots of similarities. And it was amazing to be surrounded by people that were so eager to learn about it. One thing that I really appreciate about Delaware was that, you know, of course, it being on the East Coast, but it did not have the same busy lifestyle as New York or Philadelphia.
Yeah.
but at the same time, you could also really immerse yourself into the academics and the student life. And, at one point it just felt so comfortable that, I can imagine myself visiting again.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, great.
So, as Zahra's mentioned, she was in Montana State. So, I've had a very similar yet different experience, I would say. Montana State was, yeah, very calm, very beautiful in terms of nature. But the thing that I loved the most about it was the people there. Conversing with everyone there and meeting them and becoming closer to them. We were all pretty much like a family by the end. Leaving was very hard. I can say that. So, yeah, one of the things that I loved is that the opportunity that I had beyond studying was also to explore the city itself and to get into so many activities like hiking and so much more. It was gorgeous. And so, as I've mentioned about the people, we had the opportunity to visit a host family and to have a dinner with them. We were put into different families, so everyone was separated, but each one of these families gave us a different experience. Whether it was through sitting and having food, it was through hiking, having an experience there. I think the best part of it was how much they embraced our culture and how much they wanted to learn about what we've had. They were trying our foods, they were trying to say our different words, Bahraini dialects and all the other dialects. So yeah,
So did you teach them to say potato?
I taught them so many words. But yeah, I think definitely the people there were what made a difference and made the experience truly what it is.
Great, that's nice.
Yeah.
Latifa, how is it with you?
So, Portland State, honestly, I will disagree with Tarek and say that I experienced a big culture shock.
Okay.
The way the household is, for example, because I as well was with a host family for one day, and their way of life, I'm not going to say everyone, of course, but their way of life is completely different. And, but it was still beautiful. It was nothing bad, nothing, it was just very different.
Very
that I've
different.
never
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
it in front of my face. But then also we had the activities, other than the classes, we had almost daily activities. Portland was half nature and half city. So we had
Okay.
the best
Beautiful
of both
blend,
worlds. It
isn't
was
it?
a
Yeah.
beautiful place. We went on the most beautiful hiking trails, waterfalls, and all the things I've never seen before in real life.
Okay.
So that was like a good kind of shock. I wouldn't say culture shock, but I would say like
A pleasant show.
a very
It's an
pleasant
oxymoron,
shock
though,
seeing
but
it
then,
in
yeah.
real life. And it was honestly amazing. And so we had student representatives there, and they're very, very kind. I'm not gonna lie, I was very overwhelmed in the beginning because it's all strangers, it's all people I've never met, and I have to stay with them for a whole month. And I wasn't with any of my Bahraini friends that came with, because we all separated once we got assigned. But they were so friendly. They were not just learning our language, they're also learning our songs, trying to learn the songs we know. It was hilarious. Their pronunciation was awful, but it was nice knowing that they're trying to make us feel like we belong, and them trying to also merge with our culture, just like how we are merging with their culture as well. So
Indeed,
it was a
that's-
great experience overall.
Yeah, I can see the sparkle in your eyes, which is a
I'm
testament to
remembering.
that, yeah.
I'm remembering the days. It was so good.
So I was in the heart of Washington, D.C. I was in Georgetown University. It was amazing. The campus there is perfect. And the staff were so nice with us, and we met other exchange students as well there. And we had a great time with them. We had like great conversations with them. We learned from their experience, and they learned from us as well. But I really enjoyed my time in Washington, D.C., so the monuments, the museums. So we had really great time together. And the best time was when we all were together, because unfortunately later on we were in different states.
Different places.
So,
different-
yes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So it's nice that everybody has so much positive, and of course you have embraced the differences as well. I can see that you really had a nice 1 month. Was it 1 month? Okay. Okay. What next? So you've come back with this rich experience. You all feel so bright and beautiful. I can see it on your faces. What next? What is the next thing? Not as in the program as such or the project as such, but personally. How do you think you can, what can you do to inspire others into this?
So first, I will mention the project or the civic engagement plan that we have implemented. I would say we will keep working on it and we'll keep developing it and working on it for the long term and benefit the citizens of Bahrain. But also, I will share the experience I had with other students, with other people. I will encourage them to go there. I will, even if they didn't have the chance to go there, I learned so many things. I gained so many new skills. So I will share the knowledge that I got from there and the skills that I got with other people.
How responsible do you feel about it, and how do you think you can inspire?
So what we learned there was two separate things. So one was the course itself and what they've given us in terms of leadership. Conflict resolution was also one of our courses. Politics and a lot of important subjects that we learned and experienced in the same time. So I feel like now coming back to Bahrain, I can implement this in my work life, for example. The way I am a leader myself, the way I speak to other people, the way, for example, in conflict resolution, I have a problem with someone. I see it in one direction, and that causes more issues. So now I have a more, for example, open mind to conflict, so that makes things move much faster, much smoother. Conflicts resolve much easier. So other than that aspect, this was a Middle East initiative program, meaning we weren't just diving into the cultures of Americans and we were diving into the cultures of other Arabs. Some things I didn't expect to learn from there. I expected, okay, so I'm going to learn about leadership. I'm going to learn about that. But I learned about a million things more.
Great. You just maybe went with that thought that it is book knowledge that you're going to get.
Yes.
But real life, isn't it?
Exactly. So when I heard exchange students and we'll have courses, we're going to be in a university student. So I thought it was very educational, very like specifically classes.
Focused
and okay,
on,
we'll have activities. But I did not expect this rich of an experience
It was
to have.
holistic. Yeah, I
Yes.
can see that.
I can definitely agree with what they've said in terms of the people and what we've learned and how it can help us in our daily life, but also in terms of the project that we're going to implement. They've always told us that it's not set in stone. You can always change it when you're back. If you see that this can be better or to implement in Bahrain,
Great.
you can change it, right? So I've been looking at that area and how maybe I can also change it again to fit in how I can implement it in Bahrain now that I'm back and schools are starting. What are the things that I can do to really implement it and put it in real?
You just said, so now it's a project part, right? You've come back from the university. Now, how long do you have to finish this project? Is it time bound?
So the project itself is not time bound. There's always room for improvement, and I think we know this in
Yeah, obviously,
practical
all
life.
these projects are like ongoing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, futuristic as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. If we're getting into the technical, we do have until next June to be able to implement it. However, we were always advised that if we ever wanted to change our project, if we wanted to tweak a few things or make a few amendments, we were always welcome to. And the best part is that we will always have the support of our host universities as well as the
Okay.
US Embassy.
That's interesting. Yeah.
The connections that we've made are absolutely invaluable. And it's important that we were supported, and we are supported throughout the entire way.
Great. That was a very nice interaction, and I myself could feel being there wherever you were. The way, the picturesque way of you guys describing your experience was amazing. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
I will just follow up on what Latifa have said. The highlight of this experience is not about being in the United States only or getting to know the culture of the United States, but meeting other people from Middle East and North Africa and getting to know their cultures closely. This was a great experience. Like, we have never thought we'll meet people from
Our region.
Yes, exactly. So it was really nice to meet them, to get to know them closely, to know the situations in their country, the culture, and so on. So it was really great experience.
If there's anything that I could say about this program, and to anyone who's eager to apply to this, I say do it. even if you don't think you might be able to extract anything from it, you will personally develop yourself. If there's one thing that I've learned, it's that there are so many opportunities that you can create for yourself, whether they are in Bahrain or outside. It's a beautiful way to discover yourself and to discover your surroundings, and just know that these opportunities will continue to be available to you, and try to make the most of it.
Great.
I think I will follow up with what Latifa and Sarah said. I think what made the experience very nice is actually meeting people from North Africa and the Middle East. That the fact that learning their culture, us teaching our culture, understanding each other culture, and just having different mindset come together was very nice and was very interesting. And
Great.
yeah.
So, just like Tariq has said about joining the program, it might be terrifying to be like, oh, I'm going to the US on my own with people that I've never met before and to a place I've never been to before. But even though I was terrified, it was the best thing that I've done. And I'd encourage any Bahraini to go ahead, to sign up, to do the interview and go. Because it's definitely overwhelming, but it gets better. And at some point, you will want to stay there. You will develop amazing relationships and connections for your future as well. So, yeah, it's definitely an opportunity not to be missed.
We were in conversation with a bunch of young Bahrainis who just got back from the US after a student exchange program, thanks to the US Embassy in Manama. What a beautiful friendship, the United States of America and the Kingdom of Bahrain. And what more is a better way to cement this friendship than investing in the youth?
Any Bahraini who is interested in these programs, look up at the US Embassy Manama website.
Raji Unnikrishnan signing off from the 973 show.